Hi everybody. In this video we are going to discuss about the new chapter named as Excretory Products and their Elimination. Excretory Products and their Elimination. Now we all know that when an animals or any organism, when it undergoes metabolic process, it produces many substances. Okay, many toxic substances are produced, such as like the ammonia, urea, uric acid, and also like as mentioned here, like the other ions. Okay, sodium, potassium, chloride and phosphate ions or sulfate ions. All these are produced, and even carbon dioxide and water. All these are the toxic substances which are produced during metabolic reactions that are taking place in the animals in their body. So when these are produced, they should be removed from the body. Totally or partially they should be removed from the body. Why? Because see, these are the substances which are formed during the metabolic reactions, or maybe because they are taken in more quantity through ingestion process, so that's why they should be removed. So here point that we have to remember is that these substances are formed during the metabolic reactions, or maybe because of excessive intake into the body. So nothing should be there in excess quantity, so that's why they should be removed from the body. So these substances should be removed totally or partially, we are saying now. So how are they removed? So how are these chemical substances are removed? So we are going to discuss now in this chapter by a word called as excretion. Excretion is different, and it is defecation, the other word that we come across, which is different. Defecation means it is the removal of the solid, semi-solid, undigested food from the anus, and excretion means it is the removal of the toxic substances maybe which are there in the fluid form. We are not going to talk about this carbon dioxide now in this chapter, but we are going to discuss about those substances which should be removed from the body in the fluid form. So that is now by the kidneys. Okay, so kidneys will be helping in excretion or elimination of these toxic substances from the body. So here, if you are seeing, there are various chemical substances as we have mentioned here: ammonia, urea, uric acid. These are the most toxic substances that should be removed from the body. And here we have to remember that why the deamination of the ammonia should take place. Okay, why the deamination of ammonia acid should be taking place. Remember one thing in mind: the organisms, like if you are taking the human beings, we have the ability to store fats and also carbohydrates, but we cannot store what now? The proteins, in which are taken in excess quantity. Please remember that. So here, those which are there in excess quantity should be removed from the body. That is another interesting point we have to keep in mind. Now if you are seeing now the mechanism of elimination of substances, here we can very clearly see the ammonia. Okay, so first we will look at the ammonia, then followed by the urea, and also followed by the uric acid. Ammonia, urea and uric acid we are going to discuss. These are the most or major excretory substances that should be eliminated from the body. These are the major excretory substances, toxic substances that should be eliminated from the body. So here, first if you are looking at the ammonia, please remember it is the most toxic substance that is formed in the body. Okay, most toxic substance that is formed in the body. So here, this, in order to excrete the ammonia from the body, it requires more amount of water. So here ammonia is the most toxic substance that will be formed during the metabolic reactions, and it requires more amount of water for its elimination from the body. And though the process of elimination of ammonia is called as ammonotelism. Please remember this word. The process of elimination of ammonia is called as ammonotelism. So here there are some examples that are highlighted, like examples like bony fishes or amphibians, aquatic amphibians and aquatic insects. Okay, aquatic amphibians and also aquatic insects. Okay, these are the simple examples that we have to remember, that those which are excreting the ammonia, okay, ammonia from the body by using more amount of water. So if you are clearly observing here, we are saying that all these bony fishes or aquatic amphibians or aquatic insects, All these are aquatic organisms, and they have more water available around them, okay, because they are present in the water, they have more water, so they adapted themselves that they will be releasing or excreting the ammonia by using what? More amount of water, by using more amount of water. That's why it is not so hard for them to eliminate this ammonia, because they have more availability of what? Water for them. And now those organisms which are releasing or excreting or eliminating the ammonia are called as what? Ammonotelic organisms. Those organisms which are excreting or eliminating the ammonia are called as ammonotelic organisms. Ammonotelic organisms. And we should remember that ammonia is readily soluble in water. Ammonia is readily soluble in water, and it is excreted by a process called as diffusion. So this is the most important point you have to remember. How the ammonia is removed by these aquatic organisms like bony fishes or aquatic amphibians or aquatic insects, by a process called as diffusion. Diffusion can occur through what now? Mostly we say it is through the body surface. So they will be eliminating this ammonia through the body surface. Or if it is fishes, then they will be using the gills to eliminate this ammonia from their body. So all these organisms, okay, all these organisms are called as what? Ammonotelic organisms. The process of eliminating the ammonia is called as ammonotelism. The organisms which are eliminating this ammonia are called as ammonotelic organisms. So by what process? Means by diffusion, either by the body surface or by the gills. In what form they will be eliminating these? Ammonium ions. Ammonium ions. So in what form they will be eliminating the ammonia? In the form of ions, in the form of ammonium ions. And we have to make note one point, that kidneys will not be playing any significant role in eliminating the ammonia. Okay, kidneys will not be playing any significant role in eliminating the ammonia. So this is the first one that we have to remember, and it is the major toxic substance that is formed during the metabolic reactions and requiring more water. So but they will be losing more water from their body, but still they are there in the aquatic medium. That's why it will not affect their body. It will not affect their body, even though they are using more water to eliminate this ammonia. But when it comes to the organisms that have to, or animals that have to eliminate urea and uric acid, they have to use water, of course. But this is those organisms which are using urea, which are eliminating urea and uric acid, are generally terrestrial animals. Means what? Terrestrial animals means those which are there on the land, and they will be having less water. That's why they have adapted to excrete or eliminate urea and uric acid, which will be requiring less water than compared with the elimination of the ammonia. So here, if you are seeing now urea is another toxic substance that is formed during the metabolic reactions. Now it is less toxic when compared with what? With the ammonia, and it requires less water for its elimination. Okay, it requires less water for its elimination. So which substance will be requiring more water for its elimination? Means ammonia. Less water means urea. So here the process of elimination of urea, is called as ureotelism. The process of elimination of urea is called as ureotelism. The best examples that are highlighted are here are mammals, now terrestrial amphibians, marine fishes. Mammals, terrestrial amphibians and marine fishes. All these will be eliminating the waste known as what? Urea from the body by using very less water, and urea is less toxic when compared with the ammonia, we are saying. And those organisms which are using, okay, which are excreting the urea are called as ureotelic organisms. The process of elimination of urea is called as ureotelism. Okay, ureotelism we are calling it as. And those organisms which are eliminating or urea are called as what? Ureotelic organisms. Moreover, a very, very important point we have to keep in mind here is that, see, during the metabolic reactions, the first product that will be formed is ammonia only. Okay, the first product that will be formed is ammonia, and this ammonia is converted into urea. Okay, it is converted into urea. But for this process, where this is taking place, we should know. So conversion of ammonia into urea will be taking place in the liver. It will be taking place in the liver. And now once the urea is formed from the ammonia from the liver, this urea will be entering into the blood. It enters into the blood, and from the blood this urea, okay, this urea will be carried into the kidneys for its elimination. Now kidneys will be filtering what now? Urea. Okay, kidneys will be filtering the urea, and urea in the form of urine, it will be eliminated from the body. Urea in the form of urine, it will be eliminated from the body. So that's the point we have to remember. So here ammonia is formed as the basic toxic substance, but being it is very toxic substance, requires more water, but these are terrestrial animals, may not be having more water supply, so that's why ammonia is converted into what? Urea. And then urea which is less toxic and which is taking place where? In the liver. Then this urea is entering into the blood. From the blood it is carried into the kidneys, and kidneys will be filtering this urea now. So another very important point, and we are going to stress in the other videos, is that some of this urea will be retaining back in the kidney matrix. Please remember this. Some of this urea that is formed entering into the kidneys for filtration, it will be remaining in the kidney matrix. Why it is remaining in the kidney matrix? In order to maintain osmolarity. It is very important thing that some of the urea should remain in the kidneys. Otherwise, the kidneys may get damaged because of the changes in the osmoregulation or concentration gradient. So that's why some of the urea will be remaining in the kidney matrix to maintain what? Osmolarity. And now the last one, if you are seeing the uric acid. If you are looking at the uric acid, it is the least toxic. More toxic is what? Ammonia. Less toxic is what? Urea. Very less toxic, least toxic is what? Uric acid. And it is very less. It requires very less amount of water for its elimination. And these organisms, okay, the process of elimination of the urea is called as what? Uricotelism. The process of elimination of urea is called as uricotelism. And the organisms such as reptiles, the best examples, reptiles, birds, insects and land snails, all these are the best examples for uricotelism process. And these organisms which are showing uricotelism or excreting or eliminating the uric acid are called as what? Uricotelic organisms. Okay, uricotelic organisms we call them as. Okay, uricotelic organisms. Okay, uricotelic organisms, which means they are eliminating what? Uric acid. And this, as we said, they require very less amount of water for its elimination. That's why they will be eliminating the uric acid in the form of what? Pellets, or in the form of paste, with a very less amount of water eliminating from the body. So that is very clearly seen in the excreta of the birds. They will be eliminating the fecal matter as well as in the form of what? Pellets, along with little amount of liquid material. So that is what we are calling it as pellets or paste we are calling it as. So here we have to remember that those animals which are showing the uricotelism process will be losing very less amount of water. With minimum loss of water, they will be eliminating the uric acid. So these are all, okay, the major ones like ammonia, urea and uric acid. These are the major toxic substances which are eliminated from the different types of organisms that are there. And now, as we have studied about different types of toxic substances, okay, about different types of toxic substances that are eliminated by different organisms, here there is a survey that is conducted in the animal kingdom. to understand and know what are the excretory structures that are present in different organisms that are involved in eliminating the waste from the body, So here in invertebrates, they have identified that those excretory structures are simple tubular forms. Those excretory structures that are involved in eliminating the waste are simple tubular forms. Okay, simple tubular forms. And if it is in the case of vertebrates, they are complex tubular organs. Okay, they are complex tubular organs. Like most of the cases, they are nothing but what? Kidneys. Okay, kidneys are involved in eliminating the waste material. Okay, in eliminating the waste material. And now if you are seeing, okay, the excretory structures. So here, these are the excretory structures now, known as what? Protonephridia, or otherwise called as what? Flame cells. Okay, protonephridia or flame cells. These are very commonly seen in the platyhelminthes. Okay, platyhelminthes. So here the best one is the flatworm or planaria is highlighted here, and otherwise like rotifers and some annelids also. Please remember, some annelids also will be showing the presence of what? Protonephridia, or otherwise called as what? Flame cells. So not only the platyhelminthes, so you should not get confused in this area. Not only in the phylum of platyhelminthes like flatworm or planaria, also seen in the rotifers and some annelids, and also cephalochordata. Okay, the best example is Amphioxus. In all these, the excretory structures are protonephridia, or otherwise we are calling them as what? Commonly we are calling them as flame cells. Okay, commonly we are calling them as flame cells. And these are mostly involved in what process? Osmoregulation. Okay, in the process of osmoregulation means what? They help in maintaining the ions and fluid volume regulation. Okay, and fluid volume regulation. Okay, fluid volume regulation. So here, this is the point you have to remember now. So the protonephridia or flame cells helps in osmoregulation, which means ions and fluid volume regulation. And in the case of other organisms, like there are excretory structures called as nephridia. This is another excretory structure which helps in elimination of waste, nitrogenous waste material. So nephridia is very common in what? Earthworm. Okay, earthworm. And also we said here some annelids in the case of protonephridia, and other annelids are having what now? The nephridia as their excretory structures. These are also involved in what? Removal of nitrogenous waste, and as well as for maintaining the ionic and fluid volume regulation, that is osmoregulation. So nephridia also helps in what? Removal of nitrogenous waste and osmoregulation, which are seen in the earthworm and also other annelids. And in the same way, Malpighian tubules, these are very common in the insects. Okay, it is seen in the insects, including what? Cockroaches. Okay, including the cockroaches, we can see this presence of Malpighian tubules, which are involved in eliminating the waste material. And other one are, see here, Malpighian tubules are also involved in removal of nitrogenous waste and also to maintain what? Osmoregulation. And the last one here is antennal glands. Otherwise, they are also called as green glands. Okay, antennal glands or green glands. These are the excretory structures present in what? Crustaceans. The best example is prawns. So these are all that we have to remember when we discuss about the survey that is conducted in the animal kingdom. Okay, in invertebrates and vertebrates. Thank you.